So one of the fun things about the new blue edition of the journal is that it still has burlap for all of you haters out there. Still has burlap. It's okay if you don't like the burlap. I totally understand. You can always cut it out. Staple tags to it. But because it's nice and white, well, creamy, really, it's going to make the colors really pop more than the brown burlap did. And the colors work great. The sprays work awesome on the burlap. So let's spray the burlap. Now, the bonus of spraying the burlap, guess what else happens on this side? So you end up with a background here, which I like and looks really interesting. So if you don't want the spray to go through to the background, just pop a sheet of cardstock or something in there, but I like it. I feel like it's 2 for 1 in a way. So I don't know if Kelly can show you my table. I promise I'm not a hoarder, but this is how I work. I work with a pile of stuff on my right-hand side. I really do. So my right-hand side has all of my creative zhuzhing, and then when I need something, I am like, oh, well, that's perfect. That tag with, oh yeah, that's, you know, and every now and then I just throw everything on my right side in the garbage. If my bin, I have a bin for stuff like this too. If my bin's too full, the rest of it goes in the bin, so, or in the garbage bin. All right. So let's spray with a stencil first. So what I'm digging over here for is a stencil. I saw them. Ha ha ha. Here we go. My very clean stencils, they're fantastic. Okay. So these nice big stencils, these stencils are not super detailed, so they're gonna be easy to spray through. Remember that these sprays are not the spray for fine detail because they're thick. You've got to shake them up and you've got to mix that pigment. So it works great. I mean, look how that pops. So then later I might want to come back when that's drier. Maybe a tag goes on there. This one is amazing. Maybe that goes on and that, because, you know, I stamp. I really want people to go to that class, and I don't know if anyone's going. It's like the second announcement. So, you know, stamp on your gloss spray with archival ink, paint on it, draw, you know, whatever you want to do. You've got this great spray. Let's add a little bit more because I feel like it. It is, isn't it? A little bit. Layer some stencils maybe a little bit. So just like on paper, how you would layer your colors and layer your sprays and layer your stencils, that works exactly the same on the burlap. Now look. Isn't that so beautiful? So remember, the gloss sprays will resist each other once they start soaking in. And so I would kind of let that dry for a minute. To know whether or not something's dry, touch it with the back of your hand. If it's cold, it's wet, right? If it feels cold, it's wet. But I'm going to add a little more spray, and I'm going to mix it with a bit of water. Tim walked by and laughed at my distress spray. He's like, he once didn't make me do anything, but he asked me to give him a pair of tonic scissors that looked like this. So he was like, I need that sprayer to go with my scissors. So just like other acrylics, you can thin these sprays down with water because they are water-based. So I could have left that blue nice and thick at the top of that page, but by adding water, I am thinning it out, turning it more transparent and more like a watercolor layer actually. And look how that spray that originally went through the burlap, can you see how it's resisting? Isn't that cool? So 2 for 1. You end up with a background here, and then you also end up with a background here. And when that's dry, nothing will stick together. If I just coat a page with spray, let's just coat a page for kicks. Why not? I've already made the biggest hot mess today. Earlier, I took this bottle, I thought it was almost empty. And I said, oh, I love the ball bearings in these because I'll like roll them around on things. So I opened it up and I went like this, and it was not very empty, just so you know. And I ended up with like, you know, Noah's Ark flood going on. I was like, holy crap. So anywho, that's why my hands are still coated in blue. What's my point? Did I have a point?
We're gonna keep making a mess.
Yeah. Because I've already been doing it today. So I'm gonna saturate this page. Notice that white. So that white was from this stencil. So I sprayed this stencil in white gloss spray on the burlap, then I flipped it over and pressed it here. Well, because it's on that page, now that's going to act like resist. You can leave it like that and let it do work its magic. I'm gonna blot some of that excess off with just my white tags. Oh, hello, lover. Let's do another couple. Because if you're gonna blot, I mean, yeah, sometimes I do use paper towels to blot. It's nice and easy, but you are wasting product, right?
How about another book?
Yeah, another book would work. Kind of like Diane does that tag to tag on hers. So there's my, yet another beautiful background done really quickly with the gloss sprays. Now, if that were dry, I want to come back. My acrylic goes on top of that like a butter, like a dream. Scribble sticks work great right on top of this. Right now it's wet, so I do need to hold off for a second. But two different looks as well with the sprays. You can thin them with water, keep them nice and thick and vibrant. Now, while that dries, let's go back to this puppy. Where do we think my paper towels went? Aha! In the pile. I'm only blotting it because I want to show you what it's like when you spray on this again. Let's do turquoise. So that spray that's down there is going to resist the turquoise. Do another blot. And it just creates that really cool effect. That's how I did all of these. Just making your color choices a little bit different. Isn't that fun? Easy and fun to do. So I hope you guys liked it. Any questions, concerns? You just gotta play.
Okay.
Remember to share your work. Hashtag Dina Wakley Media. To remind you, my name is spelled W-A-K-L-E-Y. This is why Diane calls me Dina Wakley, because that's how it looks, but my name is Dina Wakley, okay? I follow that hashtag. Do you guys follow it too? So Ranger also follows that hashtag, which means when you hashtag your items, your posts with that hashtag, we see them. And then every now and then somebody will say things to me like, "Oh, thank you for the box of stuff," and I'm like, "You're welcome." It's Ranger. Ranger is spying on you in a good way. They're watching those hashtags when you're using stuff, especially if you use it differently than I do, because I can do me. They don't need another me. They need a you. So use the stuff, share hashtags so we can see it, we can love on it, and you might end up with a box.